It's Monday morning. Welcome to Breakfast Central on News Central. It's your daily dose of the best, the brightest breakfast show on television. If this is your first time and you are just tuning in, we say welcome, because you will be hooked. I'm Joe Hanson. I've got the rest of the team here with me on a very exciting Monday morning. Well, exciting you may say, but quite sad, especially for Nigerians. But don't cry for me. Nigeria, that's what I'm going to say, not Argentina this time. Great guys in the house, good morning.
Thank you very much. And you redeemed yourself towards the end when you mentioned not an exciting day for Nigerians. Indeed, because football is a third religion in Nigeria. We know what it means for us. The Super Eagles are out of the World Cup. But don't despair of World Cup qualifiers. We have AFCON in Morocco. And judging from what we saw yesterday, should be able to win the AFCON. It was just penalties, a game of lottery. It was just pure luck. And like the Super Eagles coach said, Eric Chell, he suggested that the Congolese might have used juju to win the penalty shootout. So you win some, you lose some.
Well, you win some, you lose some. I'm wearing this blue to signify the Monday blues. A number of Nigerians are feeling as the Super Eagles will not be going to the World Cup. But take heart, my fellow brethren. It was quite a tough battle. The Super Eagles, like Wike did say, they say it's a game of luck. Interestingly, Nwabali seems to have redeemed his reputation in this match, as people applauded him and said he tried his best. Unfortunately, his best
was not good enough.
No, you know, well, we will say it wasn't good enough. Or
if it was good
a
enough,
lot of the blame was not on the goalkeeper. It was more, you know, on the players as opposed to the goalkeeper. I think it's the coach. Because
how do you go to a penalty shootout with defenders? You should have envisaged this, that there was a possibility of penalty shootout.
Oh, yeah, we are
prepared for it.
Yeah, they have been. There have been calls for the goal.
Even Olive would have scored that.
You know, you know the funny thing.
Guys, I'm not very happy this morning. So let's
relax.
Let's be guided.
I know. I mean,
so if you are going to ask me questions,
I should ask it with decorum and with care.
So does that mean that all our guests are coming on today's show, they're in trouble? Bro, if you do anyhow, you collect.
Fire for fire.
Well, Benjamin and Bassi have been applauded as men who have done excellently, as players who they believe did excellently in the match, and they just kept saying Benjamin and Bassi saved today. Nwabali, his reputation, you know, they no longer compared him to Onana as much as they typically would. So
he did well in the penalty shootout. We had to just really score our own penalties, which we failed to do. And I don't know, I've not watched Super Eagles game with so much tension and, you know, with my heart. And yesterday I was even so scared of watching the penalty shootout.
Joe, that doesn't even,
I don't watch Nigerian matches. I don't. It's the same. So I just stopped. I stopped a long time. The last time I stopped was the AFCON, the finals, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire. And after I watched that, I just stopped. And after I stopped, Nigeria started winning some and losing some.
I remember France 98. I even cried when the Danish team scored in the first half. I went to pray. That time I was still young. Now I didn't know that God does not interfere in football matters. At all. When there's war, there's famine, there's starvation, you now be praying for club to win. For football.
You'll be surprised that the kind of things that God is interested in. Me, I don't agree with you people.
No,
I pray about
let me give you an example. Let me give you an example.
Doesn't involve
we were playing. I remember when I was in secondary school, we were playing Joe on the side, what we call set. First set is always 2 goals. So we always hustle to play first set, so we can play longer. And then we scored a dubious goal. There was no VAR then. It was just area football. One guy, we did a jury for them, scored a dubious goal. One guy now said, don't worry now. Say, God, I just said, please, excuse me, come. God is not interfering in Champions League. Is this stupid wasted football? You shut up your mouth.
Well, just to say to our colleagues, our fellow citizens who are sad and, you know, are just thinking about the fact that we won't be going to the World Cup. I know that people who are, I won't even say people, I had planned, I knew a number of my friends who had said we had already planned our group hangout around the World Cup, but there'll be other
African country would you adopt? Don't despair. Our Ghanaian brothers.
Yes, so exactly. So now everybody has to think of another country, another African country to adopt and show solidarity with. Charlie, we hope you will do us proud. and we know we're
I
rooting for
choose
you.
Ghana. You can choose Madagascar for Cricket World Cup.
No, with Ghana. Well, if football hasn't made us very happy, maybe we can say that there's a silver lining in the political space. This weekend was hot.
Hot
Several
takes
court
everywhere.
judgments.
Hot. Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire. And after I watched that, I just stopped. And after I stopped, Nigeria started winning some and losing some.
I remember France '98. I even cried when the Danish team scored in the first half. I went to pray. That time I was still young. Now I didn't know that God does not interfere in football matters.
At all.
When there's war, there's famine, there's starvation. You now be praying
for club to win.
For football.
They must
You'll be
hardly work.
surprised at the kind of things that God is interested in. Me, I don't agree with you people.
No,
I pray
okay,
about
let me give you an example.
every
It doesn't
single
involve-
Let me
thing.
give you an example.
Doesn't involve
we
himself
were
in sports.
playing, I remember when we were in secondary school, we were playing Joe on the side, what we call set. First set is always 2 goals. So we always hustle to play first set so we can play longer. And then we scored a dubious goal. There was no VAR then. It was just area football. One guy, we did the jury for them, scored a dubious goal. One guy now said, don't worry now. Say, God, day. I just said, please, excuse me, come. God is not interfering in Champions League. It's this stupid hostel football. You shut up your mouth.
Well, just to say to our colleagues, our fellow citizens who are sad and are just thinking about the fact that we won't be going to the World Cup. I know that people who are, I won't even say people, I had planned. I know a number of my friends who had said we had already planned our group hangout around the World Cup, but there'll be
What
other.
African country would you adopt? Don't despair. Our Ghanaian brothers.
Yes,
qualified.
so
Then-
exactly. So
then
now
let's
everybody has
support
to think
Ghana.
of another country, another African country to adopt and show solidarity with. Charlie, we hope you will do us proud. And we know we're
I
rooting for
choose
you.
Ghana. You can choose Madagascar for Cricket World Cup.
No, with Ghana. Well, if football hasn't made us very happy, maybe we can say that there's a silver lining in the political space. This weekend was hot.
Hot takes
Several
everywhere.
court judgments,
Hot.
regardless of the judgments, banning and unbanning,
But we
the
said it now.
PDP convention.
We said it now.
Hell.
It was
Carnival
Friday.
atmosphere.
It was Friday afternoon, late afternoon, that the court in Oyo State said, "Go ahead."
Wow.
We said it.
So, well, like we did say here, it's been series of bannings and unbannings, and then the PDP convention held over the course of the weekend. Some, depending on what side and lens you're reading from or you're looking at it from, some will see it as victory for the People's Democratic Party. But unfortunately, what we're seeing here for some people is the fact that they think it is the start of an internal war within the PDP, as key figures within the party have been expelled. We've seen the minister of the FCTA, who has been there for the longest time, who many have called for his sack, has now been kicked out. Samuel Anyanwu, Ohabunwa, a number of key figures in the party have been kicked out. So depending on what lens you're viewing it from, some would say it's uhuru for the party, now the party can forge ahead, and others would say that this is the start of an internal war. There's also the legality of the convention that held, especially because there are varying and contradicting court judgments by courts of coordinate jurisdiction. So which court judgment will hold water in this case? And then again, the party, the members of the party themselves, how do they view what has happened? You speak to some leaders, they will say to you, no convention happened over the course of the weekend, that the court does not recognize the convention. So it's drama.
The Oyo State Court that gave the last minute go ahead on Friday, doesn't that make it legal? Or we still need interpretation?
Well, they will tell you that there are many other situations and scenarios.
You also forgot another piece to the drama
Please.
that happened.
The INEC was not there.
INEC was not there.
Did they miss their room?
No,
Or
but
they
that's
didn't tell
because
them
I
where
would
it
believe
was?
that INEC was
But
sticking to
this
the...
guys, this was huge.
Yes,
Yes.
and then you're going to spend all this money on logistics, getting people there, and then one court to tell you that, no, you don't recognize it.
But the thing is, the court judgment in the Federal High Court in Abuja had specifically said that INEC was not allowed to be a part of this. So not only did the courts bar the election from happening, the convention from happening, the court also said that INEC, in the second judgment, the court also said that INEC, will not be a part of this convention, and that whatever decision was made here would not
Yeah,
be
but there
considered
was
legal.
another court judgment in your state on
So that's the
Friday.
problem. It's the multiplicity of court judgments
I mean, law
that have
students
put
now,
us in
Law
that
students are
jail.
They'll be so
confused now.
confused.
They will be asking themselves,
Even the lecturer won't be able to answer. Can't you see our in-house legal luminary?
He don't.
it don't
She doesn't know which constitution to open.
Where do we go to? Where,
That's why she's watching Congolese football. Because the law, she don't understand that.
this is where you get confused and say, wait, where we not here? It's a big problem. But one thing that also shocked me is the fact that Akwa Ibom State, I saw the story. Akwa Ibom State PDP, Akwa Ibom State PDP distances itself from a sack of, Wike and the others, and then they boycott the convention. I'm like, Akwa Ibom State.
Okay. Oh, they did.
Yes, is this? And I'm like,
what's their business?
Akwa Ibom State, you just moved to APC now. Why are you all of a sudden putting out a statement that you no longer support? I don't get it. No, they didn't show up.
The River State has had enough drama. So please leave them out of the national issue. Let them
drama is much.
They're trying to recover from the drama of the past 6 months to 1 year. So let them come out of all of that before they're involving themselves in national issues. Also, what this then shows is if the party does not put its house in order, it gives the ruling party, the APC, a political advantage, not just now, but in the coming elections, as the PDP had the structure, and I say had loosely, had the structure to be able to combat the APC. A party divided within itself cannot stand. And what we see now is the PDP has become a party that's divided, largely divided within itself.
And looking at the history of the PDP and what it means in Nigeria's history of new Fourth Republic democratic experience, I mean, they held sway for 16 years. It's not a fringe party. So the symbolism of PDP not getting its house in order, it's not a good thing for our democracy, regardless of if you're a supporter of this ruling party, the APC or not. We want a level playing field. We want a vibrant democracy where opposition also thrives, so you can put the government of the day on their toes and, do constructive criticism and what we know as democracy. Nobody wants an opposition that is always in fighting, that has serious troubles. Then it erodes the gains of democracy.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, just to mention that the question is what next? What's the way forward for the PDP? Because it doesn't look like this is over.
We need to wait for the storm is over.
The storm is not over.
No, the storm.
The storm is only just brewed.
Just about to start.
The expulsion of these key figures in the party.
Fight back.
The governors, some governors have distanced themselves from this expulsion, as well as the new, Fintiri,
these governors that are distancing themselves.
They have a double.
They want their heart is in APC. They should just go. It's not the big deal.
So this, to me, feels like political warfare. It doesn't feel like it's peace for the PDP. It feels like we're stirring the waters.
No, but some hard decisions have to be made.
So the thing is, it should have been disciplined. It would have been disciplined if it was made a long time ago. And now it's looking more like political warfare.
It should have happened a long time ago.
Yes, and that would have been disciplined.
And they didn't change their ways. So therefore, they took the nuclear decision, which is to expel all of them, and they should live with the decision.
PDP has come out to say
is
that
not the only party in Nigeria.
It's not even in line with their own party constitution. They did mention, I think, section 53 and section 40 they had mentioned, and there's a case of inter-party, there's a case of, when Body George was speaking, he did mention during the convention that part of the suspension is coming as the reason why they even suspended is because some of the key figures and names, about 10 or 11 in number, who have been suspended. The reason is because they were also trying to stop the convention from happening. And in their constitution, you don't understand why you are a party member and you are working against the convention and the party itself. So for that reason, they're out.
I mean, it's treason. It's almost like treason. You're working against the party. So you deserve to be expelled. I support the PDP.
I just mentioned some of the names of the people who have been what's the word? Expelled.
Yes. If it was church, they would have been excommunicated.
Facts. Nyesom Wike, of course, that was a long time coming, it would seem. Fayose, Senator Samuel Anya, Honorable Umar Bature, Senator Mao Ohabonwa, Chief Don Obi, Honorable Austin Nwachukwu, George Turner, Abraham Ama, and Mohammed Abdul Rahman, as well as Adeyemi Ajibade SAN. These are some of the leaders from the People's Democratic Party who have been expelled. But let's ask you, our viewers, we're streaming live on YouTube, and we want to, of course, we always want to read from you and get your thoughts. Go on YouTube and drop in the live stream what you think this means for the People's Democratic Party. Is it forward ever from here on, or do you think that this indeed is the start of internal political warfare within the People's Democratic Party and a further entrenching the roots of the ruling All Progressives Congress? Let us know your thoughts on News Central Live on YouTube.
Or do you also think that they've removed the cogs in the wheels of the PDP? Yes. And also on a light note, you know, they should have considered former Governor Ayodele Fayose. He was celebrating his 65th birthday. How do you expel him on his birthday?
That's a birthday gift. It's freedom.
And then former president said that he was told not to even attend the birthday, but he had to do that. But then again,
he sent an emissary. It was very interesting. It was a political birthday.
Yes, a lot. And the FCT minister was there.
Yes.
Yes, Wike was there. And there was a footage where
he made a statement that may you live as long as I've lived, that you are my younger brother. But I checked on the internet as a journalist. I checked the internet and it was 57 years old.
So he should live
Mr. Fayose is 65. So he was also referring to him as his younger brother. So I don't know. Maybe Mr. Larry Olanka can.
No, Larry only went online. Larry only talks about to laugh at the PDP convention. Then he laughed at the PDP convention. He said they had a picnic. That we were having a picnic, a jamboree. But let's see what went down at the convention. We do have a footage. Let's bring it to you.
Some people were mocking us. They now know they were lying to themselves. Cocoa tree doesn't die. It lives for tons and tons of many years. My heart went much bigger than usual because I saw that the local political party is still there. Now those who are praying that we are dead, we are very much alive. Very much.
What's the message for all Nigerians right now concerning this convention? Is the PDP back?
This will convince them. We had crisis. It's normal for any organization to have crisis. But the ability to be able to debate, to discuss, and finally give a resolution will be a measure of the competence of that party. That is what we are showing today. I am elated.
Is the convention legal, sir?
Because very legal. Now, I want to warn many Nigerians, those who are in power. This was how the crisis of 1962 started from here. I was in Form 4. Now, at that time, today I am almost 80 years.
On behalf of myself and my colleagues, I want to assure our team members and indeed you Nigerians outside there, that from this moment on, we will ensure that in whatever we do, there is fairness, there is transparency, there is equity, and there is justice. Because he who wants equity must come with clean hands. What you have done to us, the trust in giving us, is that the one must also take it. We shall do. We are not under any illusion that the past that has been placed upon us is a simple one. Our party is at crossroads now. We are up to the task. We are up to the challenge. Very soon, we shall be rolling out what our guiding principles will be and models of printing for achieving the same. And when we do that, we shall be hitting the ground running from day one.
So amidst the drama, that's the new PDP chairman, Turaki, who emerged over the weekend. Now, a little background, he's a learned colleague as well, but of course, a senior learned colleague. He's been for...
Did you say a learned colleague?
He's your learned colleague,
Okay.
sorry, your learned colleague, not ours.
Take the credit.
I just wanted to be sure.
Really? Did you just do that? Anyway, let me just run through some things you need to know about him. He's a legal expert with experience across multiple areas of law, including constitutional law, election, petition, litigation, commercial arbitration, cross-border and international criminal law. He's also experienced in intellectual property, oil and gas, and corporate mergers and acquisition. He is also a notary public. He was former chairman of the is it the ministers? There's this thing they call is it the ministers? Let me ensure I get it right so I don't make any mistake. Chairman of PDP Ministers Forum. And many have said because he was a chairman for a longer period of time, that gave him enough time for him to emerge as the one and only candidate to lead the PDP. Now, there's also a problem. While he was appointed as the chairman over the weekend, some PDP members, ex-PDP members, now with APC were saying, no, he doesn't deserve it. And I'm wondering, but you've left the party. Why are you still, it's like you've left, but you're still looking back. I really don't get it.
They should go and listen to Gaze Baba's song when he said, no, I shall never go back.
Very, very true.
Do we have what Nigerians are saying on this, or can we now?
It's a lot, it's a lot.
I'm happy that you mentioned the background of the new PDP chairman, because there will be a hailstorm of litigation.
Yes.
And coming from a legal background, he does understand the implication of everything that happened and the build-up towards the convention, because you don't expect those who they've expelled from the PDP, especially looking at the person of the character of the FCTA minister, Mr. Nyesom Wike, to just sit back and accept it. There will be pushback.
Of course.
And also some that were not happy that the convention also happened. I really feel for PDP. That's why you said in the voice of R. Kelly, the storm is not over. Well, in his own song, the storm is over, but this storm is not over.
No, this storm is just getting started.
In the voice of Michael Jackson.
Let's get it
started. Want to be starting something.
Okay, let's be serious.
And in the voice of Anambra State Governor, as I said, the Americans
haven't
seen nothing.
Okay, that's all, please. That's all for now.
All right, Joe, take us to Ogun State.
All right, let's go to the next story right now. Now, during the commissioning of a newly repaired township road, Governor Dapo Abiodun fired back at critics who have been saying his administration hasn't done anything, insisting that those claiming we haven't worked simply aren't being truthful, end of quote, and pointing to the project that they were indeed commissioning before him as proof of ongoing development across Ogun State. But his remarks immediately stirred reactions from residents, many of whom felt the governor was dismissing their daily struggles with long-neglected pothole-ridden roads. While Governor Dapo Abiodun highlighted the commission project as evidence of progress, frustrated citizens countered that one successful ribbon cutting doesn't reflect the condition of most major roads, accusing him of ignoring the widespread hardship people face as bad roads every day. But don't take our words for it. Take a look at this video before we show you the reactions or counter reactions from the people.
When they begin to sponsor these different narratives on social media saying that Abiodun will shave or come, you know, I just laugh. Like Papa was normally says, I just laugh and I'm still laughing. Because you and I are witnesses to the new Ogun State that is evolving. Something happened in Ogun State on the 29th of May 2019. A focused, deliberate, and intentional administration assumed office. And we had a vision. That vision we continue to implement to the letter. And we pray that Almighty God gives us the grace to continue implementation till we leave office. The roads that we're commissioning today in IFO 2 are part of what we have done in both IFO 1 and IFO 2, which are both in Ogun Central District. They include, like I said earlier, the Songo Joko Agbado Road, the Adeson Road, the Magboro Makoki Road, Elega Shake, Miliki Bode Oludi Extension, Ukilato Yidi Lane, the Songo Abeokuta Road. It passes through Ifo-1. That road is probably the second or third busiest road in Nigeria.
Well, let's see how residents of Ogun State are reacting or reacted to that video where the governor was speaking and talking about what he's done. Just take a look.
When we see pictures or videos of Lagos State on the internet, we sometimes think it is an AI generated, and this is because we cannot relate to the growth in our own state. We cannot relate to that growth. And to think these two states are beside each other, they are beside each other side by side, yet my leaders in Ogun State cannot emulate, cannot pick idea, cannot ask question on how to do it, on how to grow. The only thing we are known for is Okada. The minute you are about to enter Ogun State, just take note of this. You will see Okada. Okada will be everywhere. And this is because that is the only means of transportation people can actually manage. Because those roads are not motorable. People cannot invest in transportation. People cannot bring their own personal car out. We'll spend money in repairing cars every day. We spend money. Something will happen to your car. And to all our senators, please, what are you guys doing? By their attire, you shall know them. Kò sí ọ̀nà tó fẹ́ gbà jáde l'Ogun State tí wọn ò ní dá ẹ mọ̀ pẹ̀lú táyà ẹ̀. Táyà ẹ̀ máa pọ́n ṣáá ni. Kò sí mọ́ ọ̀nà náà tó fẹ́ gbà jáde wọ another state tó yẹ pé tó wá fi máa bọ́ síta wọn níwọ̀n pé àwọn ará Ogun State lélẹ̀. Kí ló dé? The people living in Ogun State are not even looking older than their age because of the unnecessary stress we pass through on the road on a daily basis. Ọ̀nà tó yẹ kó bá wa ní 10-15 minutes, we spend hours on the road. The media house in Ogun State, what are you doing? The radio stations in Ogun State, what are you doing? Commissioner for Works in Ogun State, what are you doing? The local government chairman, chancellor, all of you, what are you doing? Prince Dapo Abiodun, what are you doing with the team member that you have? If we develop road.
So some quick translation for the last video you just saw before we get into the nitty-gritty of that whole episode of the governor talking about the state of project in Ogun State. She said, and I quote, that if you come out of Ogun State and you go to another state, by your tire, they shall know you. The tires, meaning that, look, you can see, brown. It would have carried a lot of dirty.
Goldish.
Yes, that by your tire, the tire becomes an attire.
Wow.
That you use. Like if you see this type of vehicle in Lagos now, you know he's coming from a far journey from Ogun State. And I mean, it might sound comical, but these are people's realities. They spend thousands, millions repairing their cars. They waste valuable man hours in traffic. I mean, the mental stress. And to think this is a second-term governor. I mean, what did you do in your first term? Yes.
He blamed predecessors.
No, he did build an airport. Yes, Ogun Gateway Airport. They've started flights there. But the majority of your citizens cannot even afford air tickets. And where are they flying to? You have Lagos State is how many minutes away from Ogun State, from Abeokuta. They could use that airport there. That's not priority. But you have Ifo local government, which I heard is the headquarters of bad roads in Nigeria. And then the saddest part of this is the governor is still defensive. Instead of him to say, you know, we focused on other projects in our first term, this is our second term, You know, the way they talk, like they're doing
you know
the
what
citizens a favor. You could see the arrogance in his tone, the way he was addressing people, like, oh, you are not even grateful, and I'm not even supposed to, you know, things like that, which is very heartbreaking. This is taxpayers' money. And the saddest part of Ogun State is its proximity to Lagos. They could tap into the commercial nerve center of the country, and they'll generate a lot of taxes. Look at Ibafo, for example, Mowe, all those satellite areas, Alagbado, development is terrible.
It's terrible.
And Songota, there's more to Ogun State than Abeokuta. I know the state capital is nice, there are good roads there. Even in Abeokuta, there are some places that are not great, but okay, that's where you have majority of the best of the good roads. But there's more to life, and this is a governor that frequents Lagos all the time. I'm not saying even Lagos is where we want it to be, but at least you can see effort. It's just, I really feel for the residents.
There are also indications that the Songo Joko Road, he fixed one lane and then he left one lane. One lane is undone.
Who does
so
that?
half
What kind
done,
of contractor?
half undone.
Did you give the job?
And you know the funny thing? 3 weeks ago, the governor had put out a statement that he blames his predecessors for not fixing these bad roads. But you ask again, your predecessors, what political party did they belong to?
APC.
They belong to
But
the
just
same
also
APC.
mention that in also part of their defense, and no, I'm not holding brief for the government, but they had mentioned a number of roads that they had completed. The special advisor, of the state government is saying, he said that they're fixing the 140-kilometer Abeokuta-Lagos Expressway despite being a federal road.
They're fixing it.
They're fixing it.
That road is good. I mean, I've used that road twice in the last 6
What
months.
we're saying is these
They are
roads
not.
we put out
And
there,
that
these
road is
videos,
good.
those are the
So-
roads you should.
Let me mention the roads that they said they have fixed, and this is for our
And then they
audience in
mention
Ogun State as
160
well.
kilometers, like they're fixing everything.
They
Maybe
said-
a few potholes. That's a very good road.
They said the following roads have been completed: Ifoado, Oduota axis of the state, Ikorita Meta, Adenrele Oloshe Titus Vespa Road, that's 3.1 kilometer, Old Bank Road, Orita Meta, Koka Junction, Olumo Spur Road, 1 kilometer, Olusegun Oshoba, Toyin Agbado Road,
You said
2.4
you said 1 kilometer.
One. Reconstruction of Songwater, Okearo, Ojodo Abiodun Road at Lagos and Yakoyo to Mr. Biggs, Phase 6, 1.6 kilometers. Reconstruction of Songwater, Okearo, Ojodo Abiodun Road from Songo Roundabout to Ijoko Bridge, Phase 1, 8.5 kilometers, as well as Akute Denro, Ishasi Road, 4.8 kilometers. There are a number of
About all these
roads
roads
that
that
they
we're seeing on our
listed.
screen.
And then they will say to you,
fix it?
part of their response is that they've made a promise that the development in Ogun State will go round, that the infrastructure upgrade will spread to all communities across the 3 senatorial districts. And
Also-
according to them,
Yeah.
the damage that has been done cannot be repaired in under 8 years. It will take much more than that, but that they will do all within their power.
Olive, you're very right. I understand you don't hold brief. None of us hold brief for the Ogun State government. And in being fair, I mean, what did your predecessors do? Because I came in from Wemco Road this morning and I saw that, it's standardized, there's drainage, and there's a walk path. It wasn't always like that. It was done by an administration. Imagine if it wasn't done, then Governor Sanwo-Olu will have to look for resources to do it. So since the beginning of democratic experience in Ogun State, what have their predecessors been doing? Because some of these roads, the brown, what's it called? The golden sand, the brown sand you see, it's almost like it's never been tarred before. It looks like it's been like that since the time of Adam and Eve. You know, some of the clay that they even used to mold human being in Yoruba traditional Oduduwa is still like that. It looks like it's never been taught before. So there's also a question, what did his predecessors do? Because it's an indictment on them.
And
Look
I
at
agree.
Lagos. You build on, Fashola did this. Look at Surulere. It was Fashola.
Yeah.
You build on this, and
Ambode did Oshodi.
and then the current governor can expand to areas that have not seen development.
Oshodi, Ekpe.
Oshodi. That's continuity. What can you point to? It's almost like all the roads in Ogun State are terrible.
A dry response I want to give to that is how, for example, all 3 of us are professional MCs. Is why at the start of certain calibers of event, you would establish protocol so that everybody who comes will say, oh, I'm standing on an existing, already established protocol. In the same breath, what do these former governors do? What protocol have they already established that subsequent governors can stand on? And if we don't start to establish a system where people in office know that when they come out, they will account for the 4 years or the 8 years they spent in office, we'll continue to see a lavish, exorbitant way of governance that will not yield, it will not lead us to being able to hold them accountable. People need to know that before they run for office, that before they run, while they're in power, once they come out, there's nothing like immunity clause covering them, that they'll be made to answer, and that if they cannot answer responsibly, there's a court and there's jail until we have punitive measures. You see those roads they are complaining about, I'm sorry to say, we'll continue to see things like that.
Yeah, but then the way the governor is dismissing it. Now, back to Lagos State as an example. You've seen how people now use the success of Lagos, success in inverted commas, because we're not where we should be, as a campaign tool for Mr. President, saying, look at the Lagos they built, that he set everything in motion, because there's been rapid improvement, and we know the state of Lagos in 1999. So Ogun State is just a very sorry state. And a lot of industries, they generate taxes from the industrial areas in Agbara. There are lots of...
They have a lot of industries there in Ogun State.
FMCG companies there. So it's not a lack of money.
No.
So what's really...
And then the governors now have
or maybe
more
it's priorities. They went to build Gateway Airport.
I know the governors now have more money.
A world
especially from the center. Once you plug into the center, he was already plugged into the center, by the way.
If you remember, the president even declared his presidential ambition in Ogun State. The famous Emir of Kano.
Right. Oh, that's true. But before we head to what Nigerians are saying, to officially kick open what Nigerians are saying, on YouTube, Felix Okechukwu says, I don't blame the governor at all. Nigerians love to be lied to, and the governor understands this, but not very well. Ogun indigenes are waking up. This is his second tenure, and that makes it worse. That's what Felix Okechukwu says on YouTube. So let's now head to X and see what Nigerians are saying on X about this. Governor, when they walk, no go stress you with big English. Obayo says, I will still say it again like I've been saying it before. Ogun State has had the worst set of governors in the history of Nigeria since democracy, and Dapo is the ultimate worst of them all. It is like I don't understand how Ogun will look like a village, yet in between Lagos and Oyo states that are trying. I'm not saying Lagos and Oyo are better off, but at least these two are trying to raise development. The last time I went to Ogun, I vowed I would rather take the train than stress my body with all the buzzwords of the roads, and of course, from the red sand that made me look like I was coming from a mining site because I took bike at some point. I was traumatized because I wore white the day I went. Now today, swear for Ogun State. I beg. Please, let's
take it easy.
Calm down.
We understand.
When you're the one praising yourself, you've lost the plot. The people of Ogun complain mainly on one thing always, or about one thing. And that's the dilapidated state of the roads. But here, the governor's saying he's the best thing to happen to the state since its creation.
Or since sliced bread.
Well done, Governor Dapo. You are doing your best to make Ogun State great again. Oladele says, and ends it by saying, kudos. Kunduz. Yes, you have done a lot of work, sir. That's why a lot of people are relocating from Ogun State to Lagos. Oof, fluent in sarcasm, aren't you? Ogun State is the world's headquarters of bad roads. Don't deceive yourself, Mr. Governor. That's what he says, and that will be our final tweet for this story.
Wow. It's tough. It's really tough. I don't know where else to go. But we're happy that the governor is watching. And hopefully, the people of Ogun State will be able to breathe a sigh of relief.
And they should sustain the advocacy and pressure.
Yes.
Those roads need to be fixed.
The airport is very good. I mean, it will help. It will help boost the IGR of the state. But then again, focus on what makes
people... And it's not a favor.
Focus on what makes living worth it, like you're really living.
Just to add, since we're talking about governance, kudos to the Lagos State government. We started seeing improvements in terms of street lights. I think they just received a batch of solar street lights. Western Avenue has been is
lit now.
Is lit now.
Lit.
Like,
Not Lekki Ajah Expressway.
Yes,
Lekki Ajah
Ghana Expressway has been lit. I can see Allen, Opebi, Toyin Street. They've removed the old poles, which means they are going to
Install the new ones.
New street lights. Awolowo Road. So around a 5 kilometer radius of Alausa, the government's house, they're doing something.
That means they listen to you, eh?
So yeah.
Yeah.
After how many years?
After many years of crime.
This is the 5th year of
But we are now crime because today Lekki Ajah Expressway was a horror
There was a
movie.
flash flood. I think
Flash
it was
floods, the whole
30
roads
minutes
were
everywhere
covered
flooded.
water. The drainages are not
Potholes. I
working.
hope my tire is
When are
big
they meant
holes,
to start the
dark.
repair work?
They said
what
15th.
started,
15th was just a few days ago.
Did you see
Saturday.
any machinery?
Nothing.
I didn't go
Nothing.
outside,
But of course, they remember that they've started from Ibadan Soya. There's construction work. Now they are the police station there. Just before you get into Thomas Estate or so.
How about
so
those
they're working towards
that
that.
were meant to be constructed around
So
VGC?
that is a big one, and I think we're going to have a special on that.
'Cause
Let's just mention here
it
that
seems like they
the
abandoned the
VGC
project.
flyover, which links to there's a regional road. It's supposed to be the regional road from the VGC. It's supposed to pass through that flyover. It takes you in, and then you come out at Lekki. Phase 1 access.
so it cuts
that
off
road has been
if you don't have
abandoned.
business.
This is going to almost 3 years, and nothing has been done. And we really look forward to having a
this
special
week
on
we'll
that as well.
We'll put pressure on the Commissioner of Works,
Yeah.
Lagos State and Ogun State.
Yes.
It will be nice to talk to
Yes.
them. To also, I mean, not for us to interrogate
Yes.
them, for them to tell the people, because it's information we might not have, so that they can communicate with the people. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, let's
maybe
move
we'll have
on.
a town hall in
town
Ogun
hall
State.
for-
Special town hall.
Let the people of Ogun State, let them tweet us. Just tweet us. Let us know if you like the town hall train to move to Ogun State.
Let's now talk about, let's move to somebody who, well, you know, while you can say that some have not been working, someone does argue that he has been working, that he's Mr. Project.
Who's that?
Unfortunately, he's not in the news for the best reason this time.
Okay.
Apart from the expulsion, something else has happened. Do you want to tell us, Winga?
Yes, we did bring this story last week, and apparently we've not heard the last of it. A group of military veterans have intensified public criticism of FCT Minister Nyesom Wike after openly demanding his sack, accusing him of high-handedness and saying his leadership style has alienated both security stakeholders and ordinary residents. The outcry coincided with a viral video showing a crowd of Nigerians chanting, "We're not a fool," a direct jab at Wike himself. As many in the gathering mocked what they see as his dismissive attitude and controversial public statements. The two moments have now blended into a broader wave of public pushback, with people insisting that the minister's approach is no longer acceptable. And you know, this group of military veterans have also, they said he should apologize or he should be sacked or transferred. But let's take a listen. Okay.
All right.
So let's go straight to what Nigerians are saying due to time.
I think due to time, we'll just go straight to what Nigerians are saying if we have that. This one is the mobile pharmacist. Mobile pharmacist, okay. Why am I seeing this as a distraction from current reality of the nation? Because Wike has denied that he didn't call him a fool, despite evidence everywhere. But seeing Nigerians argue about this is unbelievable. That's what he says. Another one, Alpha 27 says, Okafor Samuel, when will the retired military, did he call them cowards, hold press conference because of bandits arising in their northern states? Well, you do have your statements to make, but please be mindful of your words as well. Well, they all have hotels and event centers where they use naval officers that are being paid from taxpayers' money to guard and protect. So a Navy officer is now protecting construction sites. Meanwhile, bandits are killing Christians in Benue. Okay. Different angles to this particular story, Benga. We would rather do this than demand accountability, but the truth is that we don't know how to organize ourselves for mass action. If the country is to get anything right and make progress, 25% of the young people must learn to organize for peaceful mass action of some sort. Did you say peaceful? Yeah, the last peaceful one we saw didn't end up looking peaceful, by the way. And the young lads were raided and they were picked up and they were taken to court. Remember that, Benga?
Even minors. Yeah.
Minors, yeah. Young minds major in minor as usual. No government shows such citizen respect. As creative as this looks, It still amounts to cloud chasing. Is the insecurity resolved? Are they gainfully employed? Healthcare system functional? Are the roads, electricity, schools in good conditions? So I think there's also a pushback from Nigerians, a cross-section of Nigerians, over the veterans who have come out to speak against the FCT minister. They're saying that you only came out to speak about the FCT minister, but the cases of the Christians being killed, insecurity in the north, food challenges with the farmers also being killed.
Most of the
you haven't done a press conference to speak about it.
They assume that you can only do one thing at the same time. You can address the situation and still address the other problems that we have. The fact that they've said something, you shouldn't just dismiss it for the face value, saying, oh, we have insecurity because of it. Okay, we have insecurity. Why are we playing football? Let's everybody face insecurity.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so we need to, learn
we need to understand that
outside the box and address issues on their merit.
Diversification.
All right, just as we wrap up, Oyeniyan Waliu says PDP is done for all I care. How can a party who cannot organize itself take hold of a country like Nigeria? We're of course still taking your feedback on YouTube. We're streaming live. We're going to break, and as we're going to break, let's share with you what the headlines are this morning on Breakfast Central. Our top stories this morning: federal government engages Fulani Christian leaders for peace talks following the allegations of genocide. Wike, Fayose, others expelled from PDP over anti-party activities at the Ibadan convention. FCTA commences initiative. Kogi Judiciary Staff Union declares indefinite strike. FCTA commences initiative to reduce air pollution risks. And the newspaper front pages as usual every morning. Join us for all these and more. Nigeria's main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, over the weekend held its 2025 elective national convention in Ibadan, despite counter-court orders and injunctions attempting to stop it. The party went against all odds to conduct the exercise, and what was meant to be a moment of unity for the party instead exposed more fractures within the party.
The party, in a dramatic move, expelled 11 high-profile members, including Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, former Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose, and Senator Samuel Anyanwu, citing sustained anti-party activities since the 2023 elections. The decision was taken following a motion raised by the former chairman of the Board of Trustees, Chief Olabode George, at the convention.
Motion the expulsion of the following persons from the People's Democratic Party for anti-party activities and gross breaches. His Excellency Wike, His Excellency Fayose, Senator Samuel Anyanwu.
Well, in the midst of this storm, the PDP elected Kabiru Tamino Turaki as its new national chairman, a move seen by some as a bid to restore credibility and by others as a power consolidation. But with key governors like Fintiri and Mufwang rejecting the expulsions made at the convention, the question really stands. Can the PDP truly speak with one voice? Well, let's take a look.
And as contained with merits of litigation for and against this convention, as the chairman, NCOC, it is not within my prerogative to go on with this exercise.
Well, you did hear that, but then again, he went on to mention that he wasn't in support of the expulsions, especially of that of the FCT minister. Well, let's tell you that today we'll be looking into this discussion in full swing. We do have joining us for this conversation a member of the convention committee of the People's Democratic Party, one who has always appeared here on Breakfast Central to express how he feels about what's going on with the party and the way forward. And it seems like his plans in terms of his promises and his statements made here some weeks back has come to fruition. We do have Mazi Dixon Orebo who joins us this morning. Welcome to Breakfast Central. On a brighter note, off the convention from the weekend, how does it feel like? Does it feel like a fresh of breath air, or does it feel like something is still amiss?
Good morning, and thank you very much for another opportunity to be with you. And thank you for recognizing that indeed we have held our convention. The naysayers and the detractors tried everything to ensure that 15th and 16th of November didn't come to fruition, but it did happen. And that is to show resolve of the people, because the People Democratic Party is about the people. It's not owned by any individual or any group of individuals. So we are excited that we have crossed that path of whether it will hold or it won't hold. And yes, issues came up at the convention. Of course, the convention is the supreme body of the party. So it's expected that major issues would have been attended to. And indeed, some of which now being discussed, like the expulsion of the FCTA and his co-travelers who have taken a position against the position of the party. Because what is the primary purpose of having a political party if not to win elections, and form a government where members, especially senior members at that, respected members, decide to go against the expectation of the party, which is to form a new government, especially when the current government has failed the nation terribly. So people went against the current of the wave of the party, and we couldn't continue carrying that baggage. And if you go to social media, there are those Nigerians out there who are appalled at the state of PDP and wondering why we couldn't, apply discipline to ensure that we tamed the excesses of erring members and all that. A lot of them, social media, excited that we're able. Some have said, it's coming brutally and never, and all of that, enforcing discipline. And because before now, the narrative out there is that PDP is a branch of APC, that PDP is working for APC. All of those nonsense narratives were out there simply because the activities of these members who have been shown the door, So the other angles, we will now begin from here to rebuild and re-galvanize and re-engineer internally the activities of the party to give it a new direction. But we are excited. Members, real members of PDP are indeed excited that we have gotten here. It's a breath of fresh air because like when that motion was heavily moved by Chief Olabode George, the joy, the eruption of joy, in the state there, indeed told how excited members of the party, were that at least no individual or group of individuals can claim to be greater than the party. The convention has the right, and then we have a new NWC, heavily led by Turaki SAN, and we believe in his leadership. Okay. We believe the capacity to bring to the table will, help organize the effort to get back to it. We're excited.
Okay, exciting times.
Challenges.
Exciting times, you say, Mazi. When Mr. Bode George was giving that speech, he said sustained anti-party activities for the last, since 2015. That brings me to this question. You say exciting times, but there are those that think that this might be an escalation of the crisis or the beginning of another crisis that will be unfolding, because those 11 persons that were expelled, they're senior members of the party. A lot of them are VIPs, and going by their temperament and their history, I don't think they're going to take this line low. So are you prepared, as a PDP, prepared for the fallout of this expulsions?
You know, it doesn't matter what their reaction. I'm an Igbo man. We say in Igbo that Ofonye Anahoha. That is to say that an individual can be greater than an entire community. So the likes of the FCT minister and all of that who is the leader of this group that are, pulling the party backwards and all that. He has taken a position, and personally, I had expressed over and over again on various platforms, various forums, that it is clear that the FCT minister is no more a member of the PDP, because if he was a member of the PDP, he wouldn't continue every now and then to disparage and undermine the party. He says the party has lost its value and all of that. So what is he doing there? He says he's going to support the current president to come back in 2027. So what is he doing in the PDP? And we aren't going to keep quiet and allow him, derail the party to the level where the approach will come to fruition, which is that kill the party. The party is bigger than anybody. So whether they will react, of course, is expected that they will react. But I expect that the best reaction they give is formally join the ruling party so that they will be identified alongside the elites who are now converging in the APC. They can now continue in that direction of running Nigeria aground. And then the PDP, of course, will position itself to help save the nation, because we have done it before when the military, thought that nothing could be done about their grab, their hold to power and all of that, especially the Abuja era. Of course, PDP took a position. The founding fathers of the party, the likes of the former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Alex Ekweme, the likes of Adamu Chiroma, Solomon Lara, and all of that, they took a position in the interest of the Nigerian people to form a political party that will help save the nation and give it the proper direction it ought to have. And you can attest to it, that according to what is now, the 16 years of PDP is far ahead than what we have, or what currently is experiencing under the APC. And so what is even more disheartening is now to see senior members of the party hobbing and identifying with a party or a government that has practically run Nigeria aground. Everything about the nation, the economy, the unity of the nation, everything seems to be in disarray. So what are you really identifying, therefore, with this failed government for? So for us, they can react for all we care, but the party has moved on. The leadership, the new leadership of the party, I hope, will, of course, reach out to those who are willing to erase the vision of the party. I expect, for instance, that, and I think I had made the excuse for Wike before now, at the at the beginning of this year when I was engaged in all of that, supporting the current president. I made excuses at that time. The party hadn't been in a position whether it's going to present a presidential candidate for the 2027 election or not. But it is clear, especially when the party now zoned its ticket to southern Nigeria. We expect the LT to now that the party has taken this position, we will watch and see whether he's serious about or not. But he kept on, doing everything possible to disparage the image of the party, to undermine the party and all that. And so the best that the party could do, save itself from the plot of the detractors, which is simple, to annihilate the People's Democratic Party, to make sure it died and make sure they buried it. But it's about the people, it's not about individuals.
Mazi Dixon, how do you respond to the argument that the People's Democratic Party has gone ahead and carried out its Ibadan convention despite court rulings that had, spoken earlier against it? And also, INEC was not a part of this process. So how do we then legitimize the decisions that were reached at this convention?
First off, INEC was notified, and that is what the Electoral Act required, that INEC should be duly notified.
But the court judgment
of being present at the convention is optional.
The court judgment in Federal High Court Abuja barred, also restrained INEC from being a part of this or acknowledging what was happening at the convention.
I'm heading to why you said INEC wasn't there. It's not compulsory, according to the Electoral Act, for INEC to be there. What is important is for us as a political party to duly notify INEC, and that was done. So that is about the judgments and all the judicial rascality that is being, shopped for here and there. You see, for us, what we are holding on to is the judgment of the Supreme Court, which has clearly taken a position that issues of political parties is an internal issue and it should be left at that level. If the judicial arm has now become a political party, they should let us know. So for us, the rest of it, the new leadership will take it from there. And I trust the position of our new chairman, a brand new chairman. Of course, is a new advocate of Nigeria. So, I am not, people like us are not disturbed at all about possible legal tussles that may emerge eventually. But it is very clear, the Supreme Court has ruled that political matter, every other issue should be left internally and should be addressed internally. Every other angles like the former governor of Jigawa and all that, all those angles that were used to ensure that this convention didn't hold, well, it has held, and reconciliation where necessary will be done. Those, like the chairman said in his acceptance speech, he clearly stated that he will reach out to those aggrieved members who may want to come back to the party, because the PDP is the only umbrella available for us as a people, as a nation, to salvage this nation, because everything possible is available for the party to come back to power in 2027. The challenges that you're seeing, before now, the narrative out there is that PDP was dead. And we have always maintained that PDP is not dead, because if it was dead, you won't be seeing this kind of traction that you're seeing both in the judiciary and also all the angles being taken by politicians. It's simply because PDP remains the main alternative, the only platform that can indeed help give Nigeria the right trajectory it should have towards greatness. So those angles were not, personally, I'm not disturbed at all.
All right, Mazi Rugu, I could tell by the excitement in your voice that it really was a good weekend for you, and your face is lighting up.
Were you there?
By the second. I'm sure he was there as a member of the committee.
We don't know.
I was there. Right? If I wasn't there, I'll be telling you in fact, I was on stage. I embraced Chief Olabode George after he moved that motion. I was one of those that, danced to the Wike's song of and all of that. That was celebration for us. So I was there.
Talking about dancing to the song. I don't know if you've heard, you were dancing to the song, Yineba, Yineba. I don't know if you've heard of the remix, because the remix is out this morning. The FCTA minister's SSA has released the remix. You might want to see it on the screen. It's a call. It's a special announcement. I don't know if you're aware of this special announcement. It's an invitation to emergency 103rd National Executive Committee, NEC meeting. The members of the National Executive Committee NEC and Board of Trustees are hereby invited to an emergency meeting of NEC and BOT scheduled as follows on Tuesday. The venue and the time. Attendance is very important as crucial matters will be discussed and addressed, and Senator Samuel N. Anyanwu, who has just been suspended.
So maybe we should call him a factional national secretary.
National Secretary. What do you make of this?
Can an expelled person release a statement?
Or do we now have multiple factions in the People's Democratic Party?
No, my quick reaction is this is laughable. I don't know how low these people can go, but it's left for them as committee of friends or group of friends to cook up whatever thing that they may call their association and get together to have their mingling and discuss whatever they want to discuss. But if it is the People's Democratic Party, the party that held sway for 16 years in this country, no, that is this is maybe at this their gut they will now eventually decide to find where they can find shelter elsewhere politically, because as far as the party is concerned, the supreme organ of the party has taken a position and it stands. Now, you referred some of the challenges or the position that the governor of Plateau State and Plateau State took after this expulsion of these people and all that. You see, the truth is that just like the chairman of that convention stated, that it is not in its position to take a decision, but that the convention can take a position. And the position that the convention took, which was voted for there, all right, was the convention should go and proceed with free scheduled engagement for that very day. We ended excited. Of course, the governor of Adamawa State and Plateau State, maybe they have special affinity with some of the expelled people. Well, but they can maintain their friendship and they can try to also placate their friends. But the point is that PDP cannot be at the mercy of a group of people who have taken a position that is contrary to the decision of the party. That's what's important, because whenever especially the media should also help. Without the media arm, the fourth estate of the realm, the democracy cannot thrive. If the right positionings are not, highlighted, the democracy will suffer. The media should also help to ensure that it doesn't fit this power-drunk people, it doesn't fit their ego to continue to destabilize and, in fact, derail democracy. Would you rather that we have one-party state in Nigeria, as APC is attempting, this current administration is attempting to do? No, that democracy cannot thrive that way.
All right,
so they can meet. They can meet, but not in the name of PDP. That's a fact.
Let's hold on there. We'll go on a very quick break, and when we come back, we will wrap up this conversation nicely. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're still looking at the recent updates with the PDP's expulsions, the convention that happened over the course of the weekend, and now the recent developments that have shown an announcement by the expelled National Secretary, Senator Sam Anyanwu, about the invitation to an emergency 103rd National Executive Committee meeting scheduled to happen tomorrow, Tuesday, at Wadata Plaza. So we're joined by Mazi Dixon-Rebu this morning, and we're looking at what the implications of this are. Thank you very much, Mazi, for joining us. Now, the question would be that there are factions, as you can see, and there are people who feel disgruntled. There are governors who have distanced themselves from the conclusions that were reached at the Ibadan Convention, the likes of Governor Caleb Mutfwang, Fintiri. So we've seen a number of pushback, right? You can't limit it to just saying, oh, it's the opinion of one person's opinion cannot overshadow the others. The question now is, the disgruntled members within the party, how does the party intend to ensure that the majority of them are appeased in some form and that you can present a united front for 2027?
I don't know. I don't understand what you mean by disgruntled. There's no disgruntled member of that convention. The chairman of the convention, that is Governor Fintiri, yes, I think there were about 4 or 5 motions that were moved at that convention, and he exempted one, which is, of course, the expulsion of his very good friend, the FCTA minister, and all that. But the convention is not built around one person. The convention is not built around certain people. The convention is, like I said, the supreme organ, the supreme arm of the party. So there's no group there that were said to be disgruntled with the activity of the party. Those who are working against the party, those who were expelled, the reasons were very clear. And the evidences are there. I stated that the FCT minister, who's the leader of that group, has taken a position, and he has made it public over and over again, that he is going to support Chief Bola Tinubu for 2027. We in the PDP, we are positioning to ensure that Chief Bola Tinubu does not return in 2027. And that is where we parted ways. So the party doing what it did at the convention cannot be said to have created faction. There's no faction. There was no faction there, and the position was taken clearly. That one of the motions that was moved, which is what has attracted most of the traction in the media that we're seeing, which is, of course, is expected, the expulsion of Wike and the 10 others. You see, I want to ask you, 3 of you there, my brothers and my sister, please, would you rather that we continued this direction? Is there anywhere the Constitution allows you to be half Muslim and half Christian, or half APC or half PDP? There is no such. You're either there or here. And that is why, referring to that song, Enyendeba, it's an Igbo song. He said, if you give to these people, also give to these people. Therefore, if justice is what we are all clamoring for, they say, come with clean hands if you are seeking for it. If you want to be a member of the PDP, you cannot present yourself above the PDP. You must subject yourself and submit to the position of the party. The party intends to present a candidate for 2027 contest. The party intends to win the election in the 2027 election. And the party is not a branch of another political party. The party cannot continue to condone the positions that individuals are taking, that they will stay in the party and work for the other party. That is not sustainable. Okay. Can you work in TVC and also be said to be a member of another media outfit? No, it's not possible. Let's be real about what we are discussing here. What examples are we setting? Is Nigeria a banana republic? Are there no rules? Are there no laws in the land anymore that some people who have gotten so high in the position in the society can now begin to present themselves above the party, above the institutions that makes the country? You can, of course, attest to, every one of us can attest to the antecedents of the FCT minister, who appears to now gotten himself so drunk in power that he doesn't now recognize that institutions are above individuals. Look at the mess that he had with the naval officer and all of that, where the uniform of an officer was desecrated, where the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria was indirectly insulted by his own minister and all that. So please, let us be real about what we want for our country. This place, if we want to build it as a nation, then rules must apply. Nobody should be above the laws of the land. Nobody should be above institutions in the land and all that. And that is what PDP has done at the convention. Okay. People cannot continue to carry themselves as gods and expect that all of us will sit back and watch.
So rules must apply, you say, Marzi, and what happened over the weekend is exercise in self-preservation, and you also did some house cleaning, the purpose of political parties to win elections. Having said that, how do you interpret the silence of some of the PDP heavyweights that were absent at the convention, the likes of the governor of Taraba State, and also the governor of Osun State, Jackson Ademola Adeleke. What does that mean for the People's Democratic Party? And would you say lessons have been learned following this episode that we hope the PDP has put behind them going forward as we inch towards 2027?
For the governor of Osun State, he was well and ably represented by his deputy. In fact, I personally also exchanged pleasantries with the deputy governor of Osun State. So he was there, represented by his deputy. Now, for the Taraba State governor, we are not unaware of his position that soon he is going to join his elite gang, which is the APC. We are very much aware of that. The party is not unaware of it. Like I said to you, the party is bigger than individuals, and that we have shown. We can, the PDP can, stand for itself, and that's what.
But doesn't this leave the party in a weakened state as we inch towards 2027? You seem to be losing a lot of your governors, and also those that are still in the party. You look at a person like the Plateau State governor, for example. It's his body language is in his mind. Is in the PDP, but his body seems to be drifting towards the APC. Are you expecting more defections before 2027? And how do you replace these big individuals and the political capital they carry, the ones you've expelled and the ones that will still, defect?
First, the governor of Plateau State was there at the convention and was part of every activity. In fact, he was very active. I saw him. I was very close to where he was seated and all of that. So most of the activities, he was part of it. What position he's going to take, whether his mind is in PDP and his body, or his body is in PDP and his mind is somewhere else, well, that's neither here nor there. We are very much aware that a lot of the governors who have defected, most of the reasons given is either inducement, of course, or one question about one challenge they have or the other. So it's blackmail, most of them who have moved thus far. That's what facts that we have on the table. It's not in any way because the ruling party has done anything fantastic. PDP left an economy worth over $555 billion in 2015, and today is far less than half of it. So what has APC brought? Ruins. We left a nation that was striving towards nationhood, a country that was striving or working towards nationhood. The unity of the nation was not in doubt, and all of that. The economy was not in doubt. The security situation was not this horrible as we're faced with today. But APC has bungled everything, ruined everything. So those who are said to be moving that way, therefore, can only be joining because they are being muzzled or induced to so do. For the PDP, has it depleted? Of course, if all of them were to be together with us, would have been excited about it. But you see, there are people also who have called since that convention held. A lot of big shots have called. Personally, I've spoken to some top politicians who have congratulated the party and said now that they can begin to look forward to the possibility of coming back home to the umbrella, because this place is home to a lot of politicians, including so many who are in the APC. Most of the champions that are presented by the APC were people who the PDP gave a platform and showcased them to the nation, and they did very well. The likes of Wike and all of them, they were all PDP products.
What would you like to share? Now that there's been a house cleaning done, you've kicked out some people, you've just said that there's some people who have expressed interest, to come to the party now that things are in order. Would you like to share an example of some of these people?
Well, I'm an obedient member of the PDP. I have never pretended to be an ardent member of the obedient movement. I support Peter Obi, and one of the things I am praying God earnestly to do for me personally as a citizen of Nigeria and as a member of the PDP is to please touch the heart of Peter Obi to come back to the PDP. And I pray God that the PDP presents him as the next flag bearer for the 2027 contestation. Did I speak with Mr. Peter Obi from Ibadan? Yes, I did. Personally, I spoke with him. And I can tell you that the coast is getting clearer for the likes of him to come back home. Okay. And listen, this thing is about salvaging the nation. People of common interest, all Democrats should assemble to come together under the umbrella so that we can help save democracy in Nigeria and indeed, by extension, save our nation.
Okay. I mean, we're almost wrapping up this conversation, but my question to you is, today, or better still, from over the weekend as we count down, the governor of Taraba State, His Excellency Agbo Kefas, has said that he's also moving to the APC, he's leaving the PDP. My colleague earlier on...
We're aware of that.
Yeah. Benga asked, what do you make out of the mass exodus of some of these heavyweights, as it were, politicians and those who are in other states? I mean, there are only 36 states, if I'm right, I mean, looking at the list. And it looks like the PDP has very little in terms of number of states. So now you're saying that we're coming back. How are you sure you're able to pull your weight as a party? Now you have another governor leaving. So how does the PDP plan to pull its weight, especially now that you have more governors leaving your party and moving to the APC?
PDP as a political party is built around the people, not around individuals, not around powerful people. The institution, the party is built for the people. And there's no family you go to in Nigeria across the federation that you will see a member of the PDP. But when it comes to structure, political structure, it is the People's Democratic Party that has that structure. And for instance, if you keep highlighting how powerful the governors are, the governors were there in 2023 when Mr. Peter Obi, who had no councillor in his political party, won the election as far as we're concerned, even though it's announced the way it is. He went the way it went. If you go to Delta State, if you recall, the governor was there and was also the vice presidential candidate of the PDP at that time. And Obi won the election landslide in Delta State. The president today was defeated in Lagos and all that. Even Rivers, so Wike, only if he can tell himself the truth, knows that Peter Obi won the election in Rivers State and all of that. So it is about the people. Like the governor of Oyo State would always say, he said, until hunger is seen to defect, until insecurity is seen to defect, until the battered economy of the nation is seen to defect to the APC, then we'll be taking the defection thing very seriously. Outside that, these people who are defecting are only defecting for their own personal selfish interests and nothing about the people. We all know that that is what it is. You and I can attest to it. You live in Nigeria. Is your life better under APC than it was under PDP? Of course, the truth is that no. Is insecurity in the country, has it stopped under APC? No, it has escalated. Has the image of the nation, look at Nigeria now being described as a now disgraced nation. Because since APC came to power, all that they have brought upon this great nation is disgrace. So those who are joining them, therefore, are only described as the kleptocrats within the elite community who are ganging up against the populace, against the Nigerian people who are going through these terrible policies and all of that the APC government has brought upon the nation. So our reaction is, it's a free world. The Constitution allows you to the freedom to associate, to mingle and all of that. So joining the PDP is a free entrance and free exit. Those who are exiting, good luck to them. But look out for us. PDP is coming back to that level where so many of them, I am predicting, so many of them will start working very hard again to come back home by the time PDP would have gotten the victory that the Nigerian people will give to it.
Okay. Well, this conversation, I'm sure, will continue, especially after the convention. There's a lot of talks, reactions here and there.
The convention is over already.
Yes, I mean, after now that it's over,
so it is now
we'll be waiting for, especially with the expelled secretary putting out that statement, also shared by the SSA to
Like
the
I
FCTA
said,
minister?
he is at liberty to assemble with his friends, but the PDP has taken a position and all that. Maybe they are meeting to
So you
now
won't be
discuss
there?
how
So you won't be
choose
there?
somewhere else to go and
So you won't be there?
achieve their political dreams.
All right.
I'm sorry, sir.
You know what? You know
won't be
what?
there.
We actually do have to wrap up the conversation now. Mazi Dixon, we thank you so much for joining us this morning. On
Thank you.
Breakfast
It's a
Central.
pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right, we're moving on now to our next conversation. President Bola Tinubu has intensified peace efforts in Plateau State by sending his peace envoy, Dr. Abiodun Esiet, on a 2-day engagement with religious leaders, traditional rulers, women, youth groups, and community representatives. Esiet met separately with Christian leaders and Fulani Miyetti Allah leaders, held a larger town hall meeting in Jos, and facilitated a workshop on building peace structures across all 17 local government areas.
Well, in Jos South, a dispute between a farmer and herdsman was reportedly resolved through 500,000 naira compensation paid by the local Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association MACBAN chairman, and both parties signed a peace agreement. The Presidency says the visit is part of a broader plan to reinforce dialogue and promote long-term stability in conflict-prone communities. Well, joining us to discuss this further, we do have our guest who's here with us to speak on this. Well, we'll look at very interesting conversations around this. After the break, do well to stay with us. We'll be right back. And let's go straight into the conversation. Very quickly, we have the SSA to the President on Community Engagement, North Central. Dr. Abiodun Esiet joins us this morning. Good morning and thank you for being here. Thank you so much. I mean, taking a look at the updates and the latest, what makes this peace talk different from other talks held in the past? And what were the key objectives? What's the drive behind this peace talk? Is it any way different from what we've seen in the past few weeks, where President Donald Trump had spoken from the United States, and it seems like it kind of ruffled up a lot and everyone seems to be acting very quickly? Or is it an initiative that has been in existence and it has no correlation with what I just mentioned?
Okay, thank you so much for that. So our office has been engaging in peace dialogue, deliberate dialogue for over a year now across the North Central region. Specifically in Plateau State, I've visited Plateau State 5 times within 1 year to engage people in the community, document concerns and needs. I actually launched the North Central Peace Summit in Jos, where we had former Chief of Defense Staff. I had a fireside chat with him in June this year in Jos as well, where we also documented some of the concerns and also put the question to the Chief of Defense Staff on some of the concerns of the community across the North Central. So it's a continuous engagement, and Mr. President is committed to that continuous engagement, making sure that the citizens are the center stage of governance, the citizen concerns are prioritized, and we document reports from the community on daily basis to Mr. President. Since our Zoom office, I've submitted over 150 community reports to Mr. President on concerns in my community across the North Central region. And what the visit I did 2 days ago, 3 days ago, was just in line with what we have been doing, we have been embarking on for the past 1 year. So it's a continuous process, a continuous peace talk. And most of the people I engage have actually visited my office as well in Abuja. The different diverse group have visited my office in Abuja on several occasions, and I made a promise to them that when I visit again, I was going to call them to a closed-door meeting and discussion to address some of the gray areas that they've identified. So that has been a continuous process and peace dialogue that we've been doing for the past 1 year.
Okay, I'd also like you to share with us some of the next steps you've talked about. You said, this has been going on for the past 1 year. So what would you say are the next steps? Are there like markers that we should expect maybe in the next 3 months, in the next 1 month? What would you say are the next steps?
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm sure your cameraman also captured the town hall meeting that we did on Thursday in Jos, where we gathered over 17 people, stakeholders from across 17 local governments in the Plateau State in a room to discuss about our community peace structures. So on Thursday last week, we launched the community peace structures in Plateau State, which is the third state in the North Central. We started by launching the one for Kogi State around October, and we also did the one for Benue State around October as well. So Plateau State is the third state we're actually launching the community peace structure, and that was done. So the essence of the community peace structure is to continue the deliberate dialogue that we have started with community for over 1 year, for communities of diverse interests and groups to continue to engage one another, to address concerns, and also find a way to resolve conflicts among themselves. So it's something we're doing in partnership with the Plateau State Peace and Reconciliation Commission, because they are the state-owned commission that have been given that mandate. And for the sustainability of our peace structures, we are partnering with them for them to sustain the community peace structure we just launched. And we're bringing people, so the immediate structure we're setting up in Plateau State constitutes about 10 stakeholders: the traditional leaders, the NCWA, the women groups, the youth group, the MACBA, the Mieti Allah groups, the Association of Farmers, and different interest groups form the immediate structures that we have set up across the 17 local governments in Plateau State. So what we'll be doing is to monitor those structures. They are meant to address immediate conflicts or any issues that they notice at their community level before escalating into the state or before escalating into our office. They are meant to also give us feedback on what is going on in their communities and reporting live incidents with verified evidence on what is going on in their community to our office, and we'll take action in partnership with the security agencies so that those community concerns are prioritized and addressed immediately. And we've done that in 3 states across the North Central now. So we're going to other states across the North Central to set up the same community peace structures.
Okay, thank you for explaining that. I just also wanted to find a bit more information. We hear that there was a visit to Reverend Ezekiel Dachomo. Can you give us a bit of insight into that, especially because he's been a very strong voice speaking about the state of insecurity?
Okay, thank you so much. So my visit was strategic I've been engaging him for quite a while online and different platforms through some of our Citizen Assembly volunteers who are residing in Barikin Ladi. The visit was to hear his concern, document his concern, and assure him for Mr. President measures for addressing those concerns. So mine was to document his concerns, hear his concerns, and also assure him that the president is committed to addressing those concerns, and also to assure him that there's no threat to his life. The security agencies have been posted to his house to make sure that he's protected, and also concerns about the other factions that he has were also addressed. And at the same vein, we also visited some other stakeholders. So my visit to him was to also document some of his concerns. You could see the pictures that we took. He actually gave me some of the report of the incident that had been documented from his own hand, and his concern and his agitation were also expressed and taken note by my office.
Now, Dr. Essien, we learned there was a closed-door session in Basa that brought several conflicting groups together. Was there any breakthrough during that meeting, and could you share some insights on how that happened?
So like I said, the closed-door section was like a continuous process of our peace dialogue. So the 2 groups that I met were the Irigwe Association and the Mieti Hala in Basa local government. The 2 groups actually visited, if you check my social media page, actually visited my office about 2 months ago. They came from Jos to Abuja to visit my office and share concerns about some of their insecurity issues and some of the measures taken by the state government that have not been working. They share concerns about their 16-man committee report that they created since 2022 and the implementation investigation have not started. So I thought it was important for me to also bring the two groups together because they came differently. And as a leader and as a peace ambassador, it's important for me to bring the two groups together, to sit them in one room and for us to discuss the gray area and to assess how the two groups have been doing in terms of fulfilling their mandate in the 16-man committee. So the 16-man committee that was created by the last administration in Plateau State has 50% of Mieti Hala group and 50% of Irregular people. And they committed themselves to points that they felt this, when you accomplish this one, it will maintain and sustain peace in Plateau State and specifically in Bassa local government. So we felt it was important for us to bring the two groups together because everybody just wants their voices to be heard. Everybody wants peace, and as peace ambassador, as a peace ambassador working for the Presidency, it's important for us to make sure that we broker that peace deal and make sure that everybody is committed to that peace agreement. At the same vein, I've also communicated my report of my engagement with the state governor of Plateau State for him to also understand some of the measures that we are taking and for him to also fulfill his own part by making sure that some of the provisions of the state government are also implemented in that peace agreement. So basically it was about the peace agreement which both groups visited my office in Abuja to discuss with me.
All right. We'll go on a quick break. We do have one or two more questions to share with you, but we'd like your responses to them. But first of all, I ask that you stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're discussing a very critical issue concerning Nigeria's insecurity and, of course, peace conflict. The federal government had sent a peace envoy to ensure that they establish peace in very critical areas. And we're talking with a guest. Our guest happens to be the senior special assistant to the president on community engagement, North Central, Dr. Abiodun Esiet. I'm also told we have another guest joining us, which will continue the conversation in a bit. But let's just wrap up the conversation with Dr. Esiet before we move to our next guest. Doctor, very quickly, I know I'd asked a question initially at the start of this conversation. And my question was pretty much on the issue regarding the statement that was made by the United States. Now, I'm going to highlight it again, and I really need your answer on this. There are responses, reactions from different quarters that this peace envoy, even though you've mentioned that it has been in existence for quite a while, that it has been heightened as a result of what was said by the United States to prove that Nigeria is indeed doing all it can. Can you share with us if it's as a result of what was said by the United States, or this is quite different and has no relationship with that?
Thank you so much. So like I said initially, what we're doing has been an ongoing process, and we have documentation of our peace engagement that has happened in Plateau State for the past 1 year. It's a continuous process. And like I said, we actually launched the North Central Peace Summit, was held in Jos, where we actually had conversations with community leaders, tribal leaders across the North Central region for them to share concerns about community challenges and peace challenges in their various community. And the highlights of the event was actually a fireside chat with the former Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Busa, where I had a conversation with him about feedbacks from the community. So it's something we've been doing, and like I said, you could check our pages and our website for proper documentation so that you can properly document this. And this is not as a result of what is happening or what President Trump has said. President Trump has raised important issues, and the federal government and the foreign affairs are also managing in terms of responding to that. But for my office, we've been engaging. It's really unfair for people at the social media group or different pages to think the issues about Plateau State just started yesterday. It has been decades of historical mistrust, which people in that state can acknowledge. Things that have been happening for decades. And unfortunately, the president's administration inherited this historical mistrust that's been coming up, and also that has resulted in some level of killings, terrorists, kidnapping, and banditry. So this is what we've been managing. Like I said, I've been in Plateau State on several occasions to engage deliberately with members of the communities, engage them, get their concerns, which are documented on all our social media pages and all our website, which are also documented by your own news media cameramen. The last one was the launching of the community peace structure, which Plateau State happens to be the third state. We've started from Kogi. We've done the one for Benue, and Plateau State is now the third state. So this was not as a result of what President Trump has said, as has been as a result of what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been doing, which is trust and putting the community at the center stage by creating the SSAs on community engagement, who are meant to get the impulses of the community and convey those impulses to Mr. President. Last week, Monday, we had a community briefing with Mr. President, sharing with him details, data, and statistics of issues that are happening across our region, and he acknowledged and promised that was going to act on it, and with immediate and prompt responsibility. And I've had good conversation with different security agencies who has helped us in managing and prioritizing community concern. Recently in Nasarawa State, in Akwanga local government, I was just given a chieftaincy title of Tuarau of that chiefdom, based on my, my work in addressing the conflict and addressing the insecurity issues in that community. For 5 years, the chief was not able to sleep in his community because of kidnapping and crisis. And due to his involvement in my office and due to him reaching out to my office, we're able to restore peace in that community. You could see the document of that chieftaincy title done. And it's one of the steps to show that, we have actually been working before now. The community is a Christian community in Zinakwanga local government, and you could check that out. And this chieftaincy, I accepted it because it was a gesture from the community to appreciate what I have done in addressing and sustaining peace in their community. For the first time in 5 years, they could sleep peacefully. They are not afraid of being kidnapped or being attacked in the night. And that's to show that we have been doing this engagement prior before President Trump made any comment on this. It's for us as media organization to do proper investigation on what our office has been doing and also balance the side of the story. Thank you so much.
Congratulations on the Tara Rawa. I hope I got it right. That has been bestowed upon you. Congrats.
Thank you
well
much.
done. Well done.
All right, we've had a conversation with Dr. Abiodun Esiat, who's a Senior Special Assistant to the President on Community Engagement North Central. We'll now be joined by the Director General of the International Institute of Professional Security, Tony Ofoyetan. Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure to have you. We're continuing the conversation still about the response and the latest meetings that have been had. We just concluded a conversation with the SSA to the President on Community Engagement North Central, and my colleague had asked if what we're seeing is as a result of the response to the statement made by the United States President, which he said is not, and that is a reflection of the work, the ongoing work that has been done by the current administration that's only just been highlighted now. Do you share same sentiment?
For community engagement, the government have been engaging community at different levels. So that one is not new. It's not an office that has been recently created. In fairness to her, of course, she has been doing her own bits. But you and I know that the problem is not with the community engagement. And the actual problem is not with the community. I think that is where we are not getting it right. The actual attack, in most cases, is not from the community itself. We could have participants, criminals at the level of the community. We could have infiltrators. We could have informants at the level of the community. We could have people that are sympathetic to the cause of the terrorists at the level of the community. But the actual attack is coming from outside. We have external machineries that are actually being funded, being orchestrated by people that think, they need to do that. So I think that the problem is not with the community engagement. We've had several avalanche of peace talk, peace meetings all over the country, not just in Plateau, not in Benue, all over the country. High power delegation, middle power delegation, low power delegation. But that's not the issue, and that's not the solution. The solution in actual fact has to do with, talking about pure kinetic approach. And when I say kinetic approach, I mean kinetic approach, unadulterated kinetic approach. That should be the first foundational approach. After that, you now begin to talk about non-kinetic approach. But starting with a non-kinetic approach or sustaining a non-kinetic approach without having to establish your military force, your military might, and your military capability against the terrorists is only doing what? It's only emboldening and encouraging the terrorists as it were. Now you are talking of, for example, you are talking about Plateau State, Benue State, Borno State, and many other states that have been, attacked severally. Now we have also told government what to do severally. Unfortunately, we are not seeing this thing being done the way it ought to be done. And why? Because there have been a lot of consideration, political consideration, ethnic consideration, religious consideration, even maybe cronies consideration and all those stuff like that. They all become a major consideration that now becomes what? Vulnerability point for those that are going to work against terror, that are going to fight against terrorism, and also it becomes also an emboldening point for the terrorists. So if government is going to be true to itself, that means that the government must develop a higher political will. When I say political, I mean real political will to be able to fight terrorism headlong. You are talking about fighting infiltration first. And that should be the first thing, because the terrorists, they have been able to infiltrate our security agencies. They have been able to infiltrate our religious communities. They've been able to infiltrate all our communities. And all, when I say all, I mean all. All Nigeria as a whole, terrorism has infiltrated. It's just a matter of executing it stage by stage, state by state, or region by region. If you go to every nook and cranny of this nation, terrorist soldiers are already on ground, only waiting for the command. What are we talking about? Okay. These are areas that government should first of all look at. Who are those that are sympathetic to this cause of terrorism in the political class? Who are those that are sympathetic to the cause of terrorism in the religious class? Who are those that at every step government want to take against the terrorists, they will all come out to say that, no, government should not do that. If government do that, it will be worse. If government attack them, it will be worse than them. Why would you say it will be worse? That means you are sympathetic to their cause. Why would you stand against the military when the military is assaulting the terrorists? That means you are sympathetic. Those set of people should be behind bars. Those set of people should be kept quiet, because what they are already acting as what? Sympathetic and sleeper cell to the terrorists. Now, these are the group of people that go, who are, as in the military too, who are those that surreptitiously or overtly or even covertly are supporting the act of terrorism? Who are those that are giving information leading to ambushment of our soldiers, our policemen? Who are those? The military should be able to look inward, fish them out, flush them out, as it were. The concept of repentant terror, the concept of repentant terrorism should be cancelled entirely, and they should be made to face their prosecution 100%. Now, when government begin to do things like this, our ungoverned spaces in Nigeria are avalanche. They are too much. If government is able to recover all ungoverned spaces in Nigeria, if government is able to do what? Also take over all communities that have been taken over by these terrorists, then we now begin to know that truly government is serious. It's not a matter of community meeting. Community meeting is just at the level of non-kinetic approach. It's okay, but that will be okay on the condition that you are not going to be having any external forces again. The problem we have is not within our Christian or Muslim neighbors. No. In Nigeria, religion is not a problem. It's just those that are using religion as a bait and as instrumentality. I stay among people that are Muslims and Christians, and churches and mosques are even built very close to each other. In the south here, there's nothing like burning of churches or burning of mosques. In the south here, how come it is in the north there? Because some people are using it as a major instrument through which to be able to perpetrate their acts. And these are areas that I think that the government should begin to look at. When you arrest terrorists, when you arrest people that are sympathetic to the act of terrorism, why would you hand them over to their governors and say that they are repentant? What gives you the impression or the impetus, belief, and confidence to say that they are repentant? At the end of the day, we've had many of them going back again to that same camp and you have declared them as repentant. We have seen many of such cases, or had many of such cases rather. Now, at the end of the day, if there is no consequence, or governors, religious leader will come out to say that these people should be released and be re-entrenched back into the society, those set of people should be impeached from their offices. It doesn't work in a serious-minded community. Saudi Arabia is almost 100% or 98% Muslim community. Go and look at the demeanor of Saudi Arabia to terrorism. Iran, Iraq, they are all Muslim countries. Go and look at their demeanor, their attitude towards terrorism. Terrorism does not give any nation peace. Terrorism does not give any nation prosperity. So if we are being surreptitiously and pretentiously accommodating terrorism under whatever guise, I can assure you that whatever America has said is just a side play, because at the end of the day, it will be executed. If the government did not want this thing to be executed, they know what to do, not community meeting.
Okay, Mr. Tony. Mr. Tony, yes. I mean, we've heard you. You've spoken quite at length and highlighting some of the major challenges. So we can rightly say, from your point, we deduce that community is not just enough. It's one of the steps, but it's not the major step. Do you agree that terrorism has been politicized? And if you do, what do you think the president can do now, especially apart from holding a global denunciation of the religious war on international news media? Because we do see government officials talking to the international press and trying to break it down, for the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the likes. What else do you think the president can really do now? Let's look for solutions.
Well, for me, the president should be able to give all those that are responsible for counter-terrorism in this country, those that are responsible for arresting terrorists, prosecuting terrorists, give them a timeline within which to deliver. And not just give them a timeline, give them the necessary political backing. And I can assure you that if he gives all the new service chiefs the necessary political backing to say clear off every terrorist in this country, irrespective of who's all is gone, give them 3 months, give them 6 months. I can assure you that the issue of terrorism will be a thing of the past in this country. Then, of course, the legal regime of counter-terrorism should be activated and, of course, made to be very, reliable. That simply means that those that have been accused of terrorism, terrorism financing and the like, should be brought to the book. They should be prosecuted, and it should be made clear to the people. They should be able to bring out. Now we talk about the 400 list of terrorist financiers in this country that were, given to us by what's the name of this country during President Buhari's time. And for one reason or the other, a serious-minded country is shielding those set of people. Why would you shield? When you shield those set of people, do you think you can achieve any result? Then the government should come all out. The information we have about them, those that are actually indictable, indict them, take them to court, prosecute them and convict them. Those that ought to be killed, kill them. Those that ought to be jailed, jail them. Now, that will bring confidence into the people. It will also interest organization. Once their leaders are being prosecuted, the field soldiers who are the boys in the forest, they are mere field soldiers. They will run for their lives. They will find safety. But once they know that their leaders are still there, you arrest them now. In another 24 hours, there's one big man with agbada that will come to the police station or make call for their release. Arrest that big man. Arrest that person that is making call for their release. Arrest that person immediately. Let DSS do its own job at that point in time. Once they know that if I make any call or I come or I send somebody, that person is in trouble. And the police soldier know that once I am arrested, nobody is coming for me. Now that becomes a total blockade to any escape route. Now, if the government is going to do all those, and I think that another thing the government can do, they have been using lips to attend to it, and I don't know why, is the issue of state policing. The the state policing as it were now, it's not an absolute solution. It's a contributory solution. And it's a solution that can go very far. When each state becomes responsible for its own security, at that point in time, all you just need is a central policing command. The structure may not change other than the fact that you now have a state police that is answerable to its own security. That means that we can now hold each governor responsible. The load will now be removed from the president at that federal level. Each state now become answerable. For now, we all heap the load of all the states, 36 states in Nigeria, on Mr. President. Meanwhile, we have executive officers in each state, but you can't blame them much because they don't have the absolute power to control the commissioner of police in their state or the GOCs and the like, because those people have their command and control right from Abuja. So at the end of the day, if you have a state policing system that is able to coordinate its own domestic security, then we can now hold each governor accountable to any security failure in their state. Now that will help a lot. We already have state policing to some extent, except for the fact that they don't bear arms. So if we already have things like maybe we have Lasma, you have Sokoto Masha, you have Benue, Bisek, and all those stuff like that. Now, if we already have all this, the only difference is that they have not been armed. And because they have not been armed, the terrorists have what? Higher advantage over them. And painfully too, the police is mopping small arms from even civilians that ought to bear arms are not bearing arms because you don't want the issue of proliferation of arms in the country. And unfortunately, the terrorists don't need your license to bear AK-47 or AK-49. They don't need your license. So the people are at disadvantage and the terrorists are at advantage. So if you don't want the people to bear arms, why don't you empower state policing, state-funded security or paramilitary apparatus to be able to do what? Complement the effort of the police. Then another thing which is very important that I think that the government can be thinking about is investing heavily in security technology. There are areas you cannot access. Why are we not investing in technology? There are drones that are assault drones in the comfort of DHQ headquarters, Naval headquarters, Air Force headquarters, without even using the normal chopper, assault chopper, helicopters and the like, drone can access the most remote part of Sambisa Forest and do its own assault and combat, within a twinkle of an eye. When America say our attack will be swift, it will be fast, it will be precise. I'm sure you know the meaning of that. America does not need to send troops to Nigeria. They don't need to send any battalion to Nigeria. In the comfort of America, they can send drones to specific areas that they think are areas that they think that they want to use to pass a message. Now, why can't Nigeria on its own invest in technology and be able to do that which America is contemplating of doing at the end of the day? Because it's simple. We have a common enemy. The terrorist. It does not make any difference who they are. A terrorist is an enemy of the nation. So why is Nigeria so, complacent to the extent that we handle the issue of terrorism with kid gloves as if it's normal? Maybe because some of them have not been victims of terror. As an average Benue man, he will tell you America should come. As an average Plateau man, he will tell you America should come. As an average man from the places that have been attacked in Kwara State today, he will tell you America should come. Why? Because they are involved. Because they are the victims. It's not a matter of the propaganda we're busy propaganda. There's no genocide or there's genocide. The issue of genocide is just mere semantics. The fact remains that people are being killed in their hundreds, in their thousands, almost on daily basis in this country. So, and that is what government should concentrate on and not concentrate on the semantics of it is genocide, it is not genocide.
Mr.
It's
Tony,
Christian genocide or it's Muslim genocide and all those stuff like that. That is more or less like running away from the substantive issue.
Okay, Mr. Tony, I know you also highlighted the issue of state policing and the genocide. In other words, you've also agreed that in any way we shouldn't handle this case with kids' gloves. But in the case of state policing particularly, there are fears that there could be an excessive, unbridled force action, especially when you have each state. And you mentioned except some of the states will not be using guns. I don't know how possible that is in line with what Nigeria is facing now.
No, I didn't say some of this. I said once state is empowered to have its own police, they will be empowered to also bear arms.
Okay.
And that will be, it will not be an advantage. It will remove the load on the federal government. Now, the issue of whether police will be abused or not is still the same thing. If you have the might to use police at the state level, that means you are also powerful enough to have one or two people at the federal level to ask police to be used to your own advantage. It's the same thing. Let's not deceive ourselves. It is high time we started thinking outside the box. The issue of state police is just those that are opposing it. You ask, why are you opposing it? They will say there's no fund. Who told you there's no fund? Each state in Nigeria today has its own paramilitary agency. They can call it traffic agency, whatever they call it. Each state in this country has already positioned itself to state policing. They pay them salary. Last month, are they not receiving salary? Lagos State Neighborhood Watch, are they not receiving salary? You have Sokoto Masha, are they not receiving salary? In Benin State, in Edo State, they have their own this thing. Ebebiagu and all those stuff like that. Are they not receiving salary at the end of the month? What is the difference between them and state police, other than the fact that they are not bearing arms? That's all. All you need to do is train them in the act, train a specific squad in that same agency, in the act of bearing arms. Train them the issue of human rights and all those stuff like that. When GSM came, there was initial casualty, but today everybody is using DMSM with zero or no casualty at that level. No, the issue of that people will abuse it, people will not abuse it. What is the level of people that will abuse it? They are the people that are at that level, high and mighty. If they are high and mighty, whether it is at federal level or at state level, they have the capacity to use any police they choose to use if the police decide to be used. But in the absence of that, for goodness sake, I don't see any reason why we should begin to dial on the issue of state policing. It is a way to go now. And that is also a way that will show to the world that we are actually truly serious about what we are talking about. It's as simple as that.
All right. State policing is the way to go, and it's the way in which we show the world that we are as serious as we claim to be. Also, the semantics, I like that you addressed the semantics in terms of what some will refer to as the non-kinetic means of fighting insecurity. We hope that that comes to the fore, and that that's something that we look into, our government looks into, because there seems to be a great level of discontent in that area. People saying that you can't come and be granting people pardon who have inflicted so much damage, in our country. But thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for joining and speaking so passionately from your heart. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me, and have a blessed week.
You
All right.
too.
Mr. Tony Ofoyeta is the Director General of the International Institute of Professional Security, and he's just shared so passionately about where we are and where we need to be as a nation in the fight against insecurity. We'll go on a break, and when we come back, we have more. Please stay with us.
Welcome back. It's time for the front pages of the newspapers. It's time for you to also join us here on Breakfast Central, simply by just calling the phone number you'd find there on the screen and share your thoughts, your 2 cents, like they usually say. We do have joining us international journalist of repute, Mr. Habib Aruna, who joins us live. Senior international.
Morning.
Senior.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. Welcome.
Hope you had a nice weekend.
Absolutely.
Great to have you as usual. And, you're welcome back from your well-deserved holiday in the United States. So talking about the United States, I think we should start with the front page of the Punch newspapers. It says alleged Christian genocide. A U.S. Congress begins full-scale probe into Nigeria's killings. And the writer says Nigerian church leaders to testify at Congress on Thursday. Tinubu peace emissary meets Plateau Christian and Fulani leaders. And there's a big one. PDP firestorm. Wike camp rejects expulsion as 4 states challenge Makinde. And also on the front page of the Punch newspaper, nearly $3 billion spent on Eurobond debt servicing under Tinubu COP30, Presidency will be dash over 423, clash over 423-man Nigeria delegation to Brazil. That's huge. 423. Imagine the cost of tickets, extra code, and everything. 2027, Kano, Imo, Oshun lead 2.3 million voters in pre-registration. Federal workers demand 35,000 naira wage arrears. Obaseki failed Edo Oshomole replies PDP. Federal government scholars stage protests over unpaid allowances. And Lagos driver flees with employer's car 4 days after resumption. This is why it's always good to have, what's that thing? That you tag your car with.
What's that?
A Lagos driver flees with employer's car 4 days after resumption. What's that thing called?
What's that? For cars?
Yes.
Tracker.
Tracker, yes. That's why it's important. And DR Congo and Nigeria's 2026 World Cup dreams up in flames. I'm sure you were at your establishments yesterday when the Super Eagles failed. I can hear. But let's start with the big one. I'm not sure if let's start with the PDP convention. Then we'll go to alleged Christian.
The big one, the PDP convention.
Yes.
Massive.
What's your take on it? It wasn't just a convention. There was also emotion and expulsion.
For the convention.
Wike and tenors.
Yes, for the convention, there's been these court cases here and there. You know, from some people, from Esprit Lamido, and other members trying to stop the convention. But eventually, the leaders decided to go ahead with the convention in Ibadan. And we all know that there's no how and no way to end well. You know, That's exactly what happened. The expulsion of Wike, Anyanwu, Fayose and Co, to me was overdue. They wasted so long to expel them. And when they did, that was not something that all of them supported. Governors of
Adama,
Governor of Plateau are not comfortable with it. You know, Bala and Co said we should go ahead. And we all know that there's no way the outcome of that convention will stop peace in the party. You know, the party has been in crisis since Wike lost the VP slot.
Do you think it was a good move to save the soul of the PDP that those people had to be expelled?
Yes, that was supposed to be the idea, but there are many undercurrents.
So you don't think the crises are over?
No, it can't be over.
Why not?
When there's no one voice.
So the people that are disagreeing, they've expelled them.
Do you know why it's not over? INEC was not there at the convention. Anyanwu, the secretary, referred by INEC, did not sanction the convention, did not sign. Many of the leaders were not also in support of the outcome, the resolution of suspending Wike and Co. So the crisis will always exacerbate. And my worry is that the life of Wike and his gang and Fayose have succeeded in wrecking that party. PDP is now waiting to be buried in the look of things.
But PDP...
And that is not enough, that is not a good sign for democracy. Nigerian democracy is shifting towards a one-party state. That is not good at all. You know, I was thinking that PDP leaders and members will come to their senses and realize that they need to be pragmatic and rescue the party.
So how could they have rescued the party? How could they have dealt with anti-party activities?
Talk to themselves.
I mean, do these people look like they can be talked to? Because they appear to be on a mission.
You know what this man has been saying? Sharaki, former president, respected politician, my governor of Kwara State, my Senate president. He's been telling them to tread softly. Don't go to Ibadan now. Relax. Let's down this tension. Let's talk to leaders so we can come with one voice and go and hold the convention. Why rushing to hold the convention anyway? When you ask, it's not in order.
But it seems like they've been able to fix the situation that has been making the house not be in order.
And two governments are saying that no.
But like our guest said, these two individuals who are saying are just two out of the park.
That's state governors. You know, it will be in the interest of democracy. I'll be happy if PDP is in unity.
Yeah, but even in families, you don't expect
unite.
everybody to align and be on the same page all the time. And people need to move on.
The party was in crisis before this Ibadan convention. And the convention was supposed to put everybody in the same, you know,
that's why they've expelled the troublemakers
and provide alternative to the ruling party. But what they have done so far is to further divide the party.
I mean, it depends on how you see it. Because we had a PDP chieftain this morning.
Yes,
and he said
that is the PDP chieftain.
Those
I'm telling you as a journalist who have been monitoring these things for long, more than 20 years. I can tell you that PDP crisis is yet to be over. That in fact the crisis has been exacerbated with what happened in Ibadan.
And have you seen the invitation? There's an invitation that has been put out now. An invitation from the expelled secretary of the PDP, Senator Sam Anyao. I don't know if we have that on the screen as well. We can put that on you. That will hold on Tuesday. If we have that, we can put that up on the screen as well.
There are provisions, conditions to be met. Was INEC invited?
So the multitude
was INEC invited? Yes. Was INEC present? No.
But the law says INEC needs to be notified. It doesn't.
No, but I need to monitor it. I need to monitor it.
They have to be there.
There you have it on the screen. There you have it on the screen. Invitation to emergency 103rd National Executive Committee meeting Tuesday at NECO PDP National Secretariat, Wadata Plaza, the same embattled or what?
And it says signed National Secretary.
All right,
so it means he doesn't accept.
Benga, we have a call. Sorry to butt in. Let's take Uche. Uche is calling in. Good morning to you, Uche. Can you talk to us? Good morning, welcome. Go ahead with your contribution.
Issue of Wike and Co. Can anybody in this country say Wike is a member of PDP? I don't know whether you people are getting me. The action of Wike, can we say collectively that Wike is still a member of PDP? I don't think so. Hello?
We're with you.
Yeah. For me, they have done the right thing. Whether they are moving forward or not, they have done the right thing. Though it is too late, but let's watch and see what will happen. On issue of church members or leaders going to America to do what? You see, the narrative of our federal government, both state and federal, that issue of cattle areas, they will call it headers farmers class. What kind of narrative? Can a farm move to somewhere? It doesn't move. Rather than coming, criminality, to do the right thing, they are telling you farmer headers plant. At the same time, people are dying. Why can't federal government do the right thing? Prosecute those that are working into people's farm and destroy their crops. You borrow money from bank, you do your farm. At the end of the day, someone can just work freely and destroy what you labored for. Federal government will not do anything. It's a pity the narrative. That is why we are where we are today. God bless you people.
That's a very tough one there. Looking at the fact that he said it's a tough situation. Is Wike still part of the member of the PDP? And looking at what happened, but let's move away. Let's move away from that story. Let's go to another one very quickly.
The big one.
The big one. Binga.
U.S. Congress begins full-scale probe into Nigeria's killings, and this is it's been going on for some time.
It says Nigerian church leaders to testify at Congress on Thursday. Tinubu Peace Emissary meets Plateau Christians and Fulani leaders. We had a member of that peace envoy. She joined us not long ago, and she spoke about how it is not in any way associated with the proposed Trump invasion. It's been there for years, because it's just that people are asking, why is it so intensified now? But I don't know. Let's get your take, Mr. Habib Aruna, on the U.S. Congress beginning a full-scale probe into Nigeria's killing, and then having some religious leaders who will be testifying.
And also the angle of Nigeria's sovereignty. I know the U.S. would always say, oh, there's a responsibility to protect in the international community. They can't unlook things happening. We see what is happening in Al-Fasher in Sudan. another hotspot in the world. Is this a distraction? How do we protect our sovereignty as an independent country? Because I think Nigeria is not going to go and probe or invite members of Nigeria's of the U.S. Congress come and testify for, gun mass killings and guns, the sorts of killings we see in America, homicides and all of that. So who makes the United States the police of the world to tell us what to do?
My brother, we don't overstretch the meaning of sovereignty in this modern world. The world has become a unipolar world. I don't expect Nigerian foreign minister, Nigerian president, to have that, to use that kind of language that you are using. You cannot be beating your neighbor. You are beating your neighbor. Your neighbor is beating his children, maltreating them. You have to intervene. In a modern world that we are seeing now, that is being spearheaded, carried by the US. Whether I like it or not, America is now leading.
But it's no longer, it's a multipolar world.
Hold on. Let's get his.
America is a new Rome. Get my word right. Let that word. It's a new Rome. When Trump speaks, the word catches cold. That is the way it is now. You see, you cannot imagine South Africa.
That's a world power.
You cannot imagine South Africa come to Nigeria, put their house in order. They don't have that power, or that influence, or that reach. But America can tell you that we are here to make sure to safeguard the interests of Christians in Nigeria. And there are many other currents. We have said it on this program. It's not only the alleged Christian genocide, which I think should be of concern to most people. What we are seeing in Plateau, what we are seeing in Benue, and the Muslims bury their dead quickly, but the Christians mourn their dead. And when they see these coffins in video, people will raise their brow, my brother. And are we doing enough to secure and protect the minorities in those communities? I don't think so. Are we doing enough sincerely to fight terrorism? I don't think so. These are the concerns of most people. People that are supposed to, people that have been named as responsible of terrorism, have they been arrested and prosecuted? They have not been arrested and prosecuted. So these are the lacuna that the Americans, in my view, are exploiting. And if the Congress is meeting, bros, if the U.S. Congress, if the U.S. Treasury Department, it's on them on their red line, like we're in trouble, because they control it. Everybody can do about it.
So what should the federal government do?
What we can do is to.
The president he hasn't even addressed Nigeria.
What he should be doing? Trying to bear the country, use diplomacy to solve the problem. But that's what he should be doing. Because these guys, don't forget, the president did draw the strategy for Hamas to invade Israel in October 2 years ago. Aniya went to Iran. Aniya was in Iran in their military guest house. He was killed in Iran military guest house by drone. And the drone did not affect the neighbors. People have the capacity to do and undo. And I'm sure the federal government recognizes that. So the best bet is to negotiate. People that are going to testify, the Christian leaders, talk to them, appeal to them. And the federal government is in the right direction by sending peace people to Plateau. The president was in Benue to address this insecurity. So I think we are doing the right thing. But if it's good enough to appease the Americans, let me see.
Okay.
Okay, let's move now to another paper.
Yeah.
Let's head and see what the front page of the Punch has to say. Alleged, actually we've done the Punch. Let's move to the Daily Independent. On the front page of the Daily Independent, experts warn of fiscal instability as Nigeria's borrowing grows. Time running out for Nigeria to tackle oil, gas, methane emissions and security. Tinubu sends emissary to Plateau to broker peace. Serap gives CBN 7 days to account for alleged 3 trillion naira missing funds. Gumi falls court. Or else
what will happen?
They'll go to court.
Okay.
Gumi falls call for his arrest, defends engagement with bandits. Federal government urged to apologize and reverse the mother tongue policy, and I want us to speak about that. We also have here, disguised contract staffing creates a safety blind spot at airports. We're not armed, violent group says Mieti Allah. Arbitrator in $718 million. First Bank versus GHL case revealed as bank shareholder. And finally, it will take 4 years for Wike to return to PDP, body judge says.
All right, let's take a call.
For those that the story that
Benga
was trying to make a jest of, the Serap story. No, Serap is a whistleblower. Serap as a body, as an NGO, is very critical.
Very, very
critical in a country that is becoming increasingly corrupt.
And we must applaud them
That's
for always
why we
holding them
lost
to
and
account.
consistent.
That's why we lost to Congo DR. Part of it. Three main reasons. First one, corruption. Second one, corruption. Third one,
corruption.
People are corrupt.
Lack of accountability.
I'm telling you the truth. If you are not careful in this country, nothing will decimate all of us.
It has eaten deep already.
Yes. So if Serap is talking, Serap is only asking a question. Let the agency or the government is involved to come and tell us.
Respond.
Come and respond. So our job as media men is to protect and promote what Serap is saying.
Let's quickly take a call. We have Joe, not Hansen. Joe on the call. Good morning, Joe, and thanks for calling. Please go ahead.
Hello, good morning. Yes, Joe is Badana calling from Ikeju, Imo State.
All right, Joe, please go ahead.
We should not shy away from the truth. One would have expected that the present government will do the needful. Now, you now ask yourself, some people have invaded Benue and Plateau, occupying that place. Who are those people occupying that place? Are they Christians? Who are the people stuck that IGP comes? Quite all right. The issue is that there is food recycling in Nigeria. We should not shy away from the truth. Last time some bandits they said they were pardoned and they integrated into the Nigerian army. Look at that now. Look at that. And when they are arrested, when they know the bandits are arrested, in the next moment, you hear that they are released. That is to say that the government, I'm saying this, the government has hand. If the government has no hand, why are people still in ID camps? We should not say that this is Nigeria is a sovereign state, a sovereign country. In your house, you are the owner of the house, your children, your wife. But if you protect your children, there's an agency meant to come against you. Why are you not allowed to handle your children or family the way you want? So we should discard this issue of sovereignty. The thing of Christians in Nigeria is touching the hearts, the minds of Americans and Trump. No word about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that thought. Okay, I want us to quickly take this story on the front page, still on front page of the Daily Independent, bottom left corner. You can see the federal government urged to apologize and reverse mother tongue policy. Now you go and read up about the mother tongue policy. It was introduced about 3 years ago by the former Minister of Education, Adamu, where he said that children in their early years were encouraged, they were to be taught in their mother tongue because he believed that they grasped the information better when taught in their mother tongue. Now it's been reverted to English, and there are people who are saying that they should apologize and reverse it.
Back to mother tongue.
Maybe.
It would be nice to know your views on this. And I also want to ask you, what is photosynthesis in your mother tongue?
They don't teach photosynthesis in pre-primary school.
Okay. What is lacuna?
My view is that no country develops with foreign language. Look at the Indians. Indians were colonized by the British, but they refused to use English as their lingua franca.
China.
Look at China. Even Ghana now. Ghana a month ago.
Yeah.
Did you say?
Ghana is doing what we are now doing.
So
we're going the other way. Ghana is going back this way.
Mother tongue is very, very important.
Yeah.
Even though it's late, but it's still better than.
But some will argue that English is an official language, is widely spoken, and when you're developing people for a competitive world, it's a global language, that it's a language of instruction. So it should be the language of instruction since it's widely spoken. So why are we not encouraging that? That mother tongue might not work because, I mean, Yoruba is only limited to
Well, it can be second to English.
Okay.
Or it's late. If that thing was done after our independence, that would have been very, would have helped us to grow in terms of technology and otherwise. But it's not too late.
I'm very pro mother tongue because I think that we're a country with over 250 indigenous languages, and we're losing a lot of our languages. Some of them have gone extinct because we've prioritized English language. It's important to learn English, but it's also important to be able to communicate in your native dialect. These are some of the things that, you know, make us, these are the fabrics of our identity as a nation, the multiplicity of languages and the ability for us to thrive.
I mean, just 4 of us in this studio.
Are we saying that, apart from English, we have a mother tongue that they really acknowledge?
No.
Like Wazobia. Now they're saying, I'm a dog, for example, I'm Auchi.
And they speak Yoruba.
Yoruba. So I'm saying I should have to adopt Auchi as mother tongue.
So,
or there should be a general, one single language.
I don't think there can be. I don't think there can be a general language.
And the only fair language would be English, because people say, why should we adopt Yoruba or Hausa? And
so we can't have, for now, yes, English will be the general one, but that everybody's language, you know, Ibibio, Yoruba, Hausa, you know, the different languages. I think that we should encourage more people to teach them. A number of us missed it, or some of our parents missed it in our generation, because they thought that if you speak your native tongue, that you would have, they call it vernacular, it will affect your English language. And even in schools, they had a vernacular jar that if you spoke Yoruba or Igbo, you pay a fine. And I don't think that should be the case. I'm hoping that, because what's happening is that with, you know, the younger generation, we're losing it. Remember, we can't even speak their language.
For preservation of
the type of parents we have now,
preservation of culture.
They even boast about it.
I can't speak my language.
My child can't speak English.
You cannot?
No, I'm saying that's the thing.
They use it.
When we were young, that don't speak Yoruba in our house, speak Yoruba outside. So till now, all of us, but unfortunately for me, I'm not able to replicate what my brother did
to your own children. It's always like that.
Even my wife has been trying. My children can hear the language, but they can speak.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's good.
But I can speak like Yoruba.
It's one beautiful thing I love about the Asians. No matter where they grow up, you would see them. Asians. Like you see them speak their languages. They're in America or they're in England, and then they will switch from English back to their language. I wish that is something that we can do here in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Anyway, before we go, because we're running out of time, I want us to watch this video. I'd like a response to this as you know, senior journalist. Let's watch this video very quickly.
Eric, coming towards the end of the game, I could see that you were a bit frustrated with maybe some of the DR Congo staff members. Could you give us an update on what happened there?
During all the penalty decision, a guy of Congo did some voodoo. Every time. So this is why I was a little nervous after him.
Yeah. What did you see?
Yeah, something like that. You know, with the I don't know if it's a water or something like that. You know, so I don't know.
Quel est votre message?
This question was asked when I was very active in sports journalism. Is there juju in football? And then he's talking. I don't know. What's your take?
No, my personal opinion, I don't think it exists.
Okay.
Yeah, my personal opinion.
Okay.
I don't believe in this kind of this darkness of a team. You know, I believe that if you work very hard, achieve result. Nigeria lost this team during the preliminaries. When we in 12 games, we drew 7. You know, 1-3 and lost 2. So you cannot expect us to qualify. Yes, I was also drinking my beer when I played in Manchester because I know I've been issue that we lost our chances on the beginning. In World Cup qualifying series, every game is final.
Yeah,
exactly.
What is killing us?
Corruption.
In fairness to the new coach,
what is killing us is corruption. Please, let's take this thing serious. They did not pay those guys their bonuses until they
had to hold them hostage.
To trade. You know what? Everybody that have been managing our sport the past 5-10 years should be caught to order, investigated.
But the coach, I mean,
it's unfortunate that the only thing that keeps us together, that make us happy, football, They are messing up with it.
Mr. Abib,
If not go to the last World Cup, now we're not going to do this one again.
But we're going to AFCON and we're going to win AFCON in Jesus' name.
Like voodoo. Even in real life, apart from football, you must prepare.
Absolutely.
Light and darkness can
the 5 Ps.
So how about that? As a senior journalist, when Nigeria played India 101, they said India used it.
So where's India? Where's China? You know, we have to train, my brother.
Yeah.
Then in life, you must prepare or you fail.
Why didn't they?
That is it.
Why did they use voodoo
So
to win the World Cup?
This should be a warning for all of us. Those in charge of this country should try to intervene to save our football. These guys are building houses everywhere, and they are not managing it well. They are just using it to
lavish.
Absolutely. So they should investigate before we.
I also have a theory on why we don't do well in football. Because some of the stadium, they use it for crusade. And when you are casting demons, some of those demons will enter inside the grass. And they're holding the leg of a cutter when it's doing leg over.
I'm very sarcastic.
On this let's go.
On this note, let's go.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Habib Haruna. Thank you to our
so much
guests who have been here physically, our virtual guests, and our online audience for always riding with us. We'll be back again tomorrow to continue the show. But remember that the conversations continue virtually. We're streaming Jasiri and other shows on YouTube. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.